food prices rise globally. Average wheat, maize, and rice prices rose 20%, 29% and 8% respectively worldwide in September compared to a year ago, according to the Food Security Update of the World Bank. Similarly, wheat and maize prices were 33% and 30% higher compared to those in January last year. Rice prices were 12% lower during the period, however. Compared to 2 weeks ago, the agricultural price index was 3 percentage points lower. Domestic food price inflation remains high around the world. Information between May to August 2022 shows high inflation in almost all low-income and middle-income countries. About 88.2% of low-income countries, 91.1% of lower-middle-income countries, and 93% of upper-middle-income countries have seen inflation levels above 5%, with many experiencing double-digit inflation. The share of high-income countries with high inflation has also increased sharply, with about 82.1% experiencing high food price inflation. According to the Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics, food inflation in the country stood at 8.2% in July, the latest for which data was available. The World Bank update showed after some brief relief in the summer of 2022, fertilizer prices are beginning to rise again. In the last week of August, prices increased significantly for ammonium nitrate by 9% to €960 per ton and for calcium ammonium nitrate by 13% to €850 per ton. Limited fertilizer production in Europe, mainly caused by tight natural gas supplies and high energy prices, will likely lead the European Union to become a net importer of fertilizer, putting pressure on global markets, it said. In addition to increasing energy prices, policy measures such as export restrictions in countries such as China, Belarus, and Russia, all major fertilizer suppliers, have limited global fertilizer availability. In addition to increasing energy prices, policy measures such as export restrictions have limited global fertilizer availability. The war in Ukraine has altered global patterns of trade, production, and consumption of commodities in ways that will keep prices at high levels through the end of 2024, exacerbating food insecurity and inflation, said the WB. High food prices have triggered a global crisis that is driving millions more into extreme poverty, magnifying hunger and malnutrition. The number of people who are experiencing acute food insecurity and will need urgent assistance is likely to climb to 222 million people in 53 countries and territories, according to a report by the Food and Agriculture Organization and the World Food Programme. Following the start of the war in Ukraine, trade-related policies imposed by countries have surged. The global food crisis has been partially made worse by the growing number of food trade restrictions put in place by countries with the goal of increasing domestic supply and reducing prices. As of September 29, some 20 countries have implemented 29 food export bans, and 6 have implemented 12 export limiting measures.